The internet of the 90s had a problem that it was a monopoly. The only way to get online was with Internet Explorer on a Windows machine, which meant you had to buy a Windows computer and install Windows and actually go there. And it was not a good experience, it was not a free experience, and it was not a creative experience. So when Firefox came around and we opened up the internet to standards, then out of a sudden people had a choice. I did not have to buy a Windows machine to go online, I could use anything. It was the first browser to actually allow you to see the internet the way it was defined, rather than to see the internet how one company told you it should be written. So end users had the choice of actually doing their own browser and doing their own thing and customizing it to their needs. And developers had finally the choice to actually write code according to standards and see it in the way it should be displayed, rather than having to write code 5 times for 5 different players. So with Firefox OS we're doing exactly the same thing. We now have 2 players, we've got Android and iOS, which actually are the mobile internet, so to say, and we want to allow people to use whatever they actually can to go online. What we're doing with Mozilla and Firefox OS together with Telefonica is allow people who cannot afford those high-class phones to be on the internet, and that is the freedom that we should all get. We should not be tied down to a hardware or one provider. We should have the choice to use whatever we want to go online on our phones. With open standards, when I build something, I can reuse it across the board. If the internet-connected fridge comes, if internet-connected cars come, they will run these open standards. They will have their own standards because it's too hard to find developers for it. So when I have a game like, say for example, Angry Birds, I don't have to have it out on iOS and wait for half a year to see it come out on Android. I can just get it on every platform at the same time because it's written according to a standard. It also means that the technology of the future will run on it rather than the technology of the now. For the end consumer, HTML5 means that they can take their apps with them wherever they go. If you lose your mobile phone, or if you wipe it, if you have to delete it, all the apps are still there, and the apps can sync across different devices as well. So if I've got an Android tablet and an iOS phone, I can keep the score of my game on both of them with HTML5. I don't have to play the whole level from the start again. 10 million people out there build things for the web right now. 10 million people should be allowed to build on all the new cool hardware coming out.